silk sneakers. The mycelium shirts for Puma, or some students that they created these that they use bacteria to have like a natural system that reacts within sweat and humidity, or that, for example, because these bacteria, they can be incorporated also into the fiber clothing and reduce like body odor, encourages cell renewal and improves the immunologic system when it's activated also by sweat. Another project here that is with Spider Silk, that is with Omega, the watch company. So yeah, I mean here there's more specific about all the properties of Spider Silk, but maybe it's not much time for that to go deeply, but yeah, I mean basically
we have still time. I mean,
okay,
yeah,
so
like
yeah, well,
maybe 10 minutes something.
Yes, as I explained before, that the spiral fibers are natural base biopolymers, and they have this incredible combination of strength and elasticity, but they are very light as well, and they have very high skin sensation behavior, contour moisture management, and 100% biodegradable. So the spider silk can be applied a lot into technical fibers, and is growing rapidly, actually. That we can see, for example, here another company that created this jacket for in Japan. It's called Spiber. For the North Face, it's a ski jacket, actually. That this is actually one of the things I wanted to do 4 years ago, but it was not possible. That, yeah, I mean, is one example as how we can see that if you're a very big company, everybody wants to collaborate with you, but if you are a small designer, it is really difficult. So I think it's very important to collaborate together and work together on this, so we can also have access to industry and have more opportunities to be able also to scale it and produce it and commercialize it. So here we can see, for example, how they brew silk protein. That is a process kind of similar of making beer. I mean, not exactly, but it's very similar of making beer. I mean, this is more into a level that is needed, a laboratory that is a little bit more experienced. But if we talk about mycelium, it's something that we can actually grow in our kitchen up to certain level. And here I can show how what I was explaining before, that the properties that mycelium, that is not just a very good replacement for leather, but it is also something that that is really good for the environment, because it cleans actually the soil. It keeps these nutrients, and it keeps the soil, the health of the soil. So it's already something that can recycle or can keep, we can say, a very healthy environment for soil. And it's you can see a little bit how the process work. I mean, you know very good. This is another product that I was talking before, that is from Stella McCartney, that was in 2018, but this year they are actually launching commercially full range of leatherless products made out of mycelium. And you can see that this is incredibly leather look like. Here we can see the process, how also the bioplastics work, that we can basically use this any kind of methane gas, and also we can manage very good all the bio waste from different countries. like I think every country has a very big problem with their organic waste, or here we can say there's a big problem with the cow shit, or where countries that they brew a lot of meat as well. They can use all these methane gas emissions to transform it in microbes and create these biopolymers and transform it in materials that can very easily biodegrade. The algae, this is another company that is working actually already with LVMH. They won an innovation award in 2018. LVMH is a very big conglomerate. If some people don't know, one of the biggest luxury fashion conglomerates that has Dior, Louis Vuitton, etc., etc. So it's actually, there is a very big demand from the industry, and there's a lot of also support from also other company called Kering. That basically they both have all of the luxury brands from Europe. Yeah, more or less this is a little bit what it's about. I think
Thank you.
So yeah, and what
you.
I really like is to have this community open for everybody, any creative that wants to experiment, that wants to understand more, and wants to understand about biomaterials and how we can apply and use it for a more sustainable way of living.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was an amazing journey through a lot of incredible materials, and that I never heard about. And yeah, I don't know if there is any question, any other. I have questions, but I imagine that someone in the Jitsi call, or maybe in Facebook, there was some technical issues before. Sorry for that. I had to restart the direct live video. Any question? Yeah, Rachel.
Yeah, I could. I'm really interested in a sort of fabric that would be for swimsuits that's not full of plastic. And cotton things, usually they're not so great anyway. But it seems like a lot of these biomaterials aren't so stable with water, like the mycelium. But maybe the spider silk is really good. Would that be something you could make swimsuits out of? I have this idea of an all-in-one bodysuit that you could call the skin suit. That would be like to keep UV away, basically, and also those horrible jellyfish around that are quite toxic around Australia, especially. I thought there's a big market for that. But the plastics are so bad from the swimsuits, right? All the polyesters showing microplastic.
Yeah.
So is there a good one for swimsuits?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, first of all, it's good that you say, because the problem also is not that that they are made out of polyester and how they end, because they mostly end up in a big pile that is going to be burned and will create CO2, etc., and actually can't be recycled. Mm-hmm. Because of most of these textiles have different components and mix. And if it's recyclable, we have really 2% of what can be really recycled. I'm not saying that actually 20% of the microplastics on the water that we drink comes from textile, of washing, just from washing our textile. So actually the blue spider silk, it could be very good in this case, because it doesn't degrade on the water. and it has like all these moisture breathable properties, and it has also a lot of elasticity. So that could be one of the materials that I think could be mostly used, and that has also a much longer life. I think every material can be very good for different things. If you say that something that it needs to be waterproof or exposed to the water, or like swimming suits, it can be very good. Silk protein. If we're gonna have like accessories like shoes or bags that we don't, we don't swim with it, the mycelium is very good. And there's some companies that they're working with mycelium that actually is waterproof. It doesn't dissolve and is very resistant and has a very long life expectancy. Algae can be also really good. It depends of the usage. There is also companies that they are really advanced in technologies that when I said we can make mycelium or algae in our kitchen, is more to experiment and see how it looks, how it feels, and but if we're gonna do it in a more like to scale it and commercialize, it needs a lot of course research and development. So, but there is companies that they are already they have like incredible technologies with all these materials, like I mentioned before.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have Vivian Roussel tonight from Paris, from Threads. Hi, Vivian. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Aline,
Thank you.
for also answering our doubts. So I had this idea of inviting today Vivian because both of you have been, well, you were living in Paris, so maybe there is a connection. I think it's interesting to name that you come both from different perspectives of approaching biological matter. And I think this is also very interesting to see this both ways to work with matter. And also Vivian and Adrienne Rigobello, it's they're presenting next week also their whole Threads project, and I had this idea of maybe you can introduce us a little bit tonight your project, and maybe you can discuss with Aline, and also if somebody has questions to Vivian, they are welcome to ask at the end. Yeah.
Okay. Just sorry for Carlos. So hello. So I'm Vivian. So yeah, I work with Threads. Threads is a collective of design. We work on more on kombucha, but also on mycelium, and we work on that for make a design project about social sustainability. It's more about practical biomaterial and how we can use that for produce distributive fabrication. Just for show you, because I present that in a network of French just before. This is some kombucha I have. This one I have a print on with it's a serigraphy, but we have make some stuff, and yeah, I have make for me some things like this, like my watch, or I have a little bracelet I have all the day from 2 years ago around my arm. So it's enough good for a moment. We have find some solution for stabilize the material, but for mycelium we don't have the same level, but maybe Adrian have, because actually we are distributed networks. So me, I live in Paris, and we have like a really underground biolab. But Adrian live in Copenhagen, and he make a PhD in architectural school about mycelium and use of mycelium in architecture. So we know normally a lot of different techniques, because he works with Mogu and different big company like this. But I let him explain that next week. So I think it's enough.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so two perspectives. I guess like here you are concentrated on kombucha and leather, but you also talked about other materials like mushrooms, and also something like water, with water.
No, just oh shit! Yeah. No, just yeah. We work again also in on a biomaterial, but just like a bioplastic. But I don't like a lot that, because it's not really sustainable. So it's a long question. But yeah, we work a lot on kombucha. We work a little bit on mycelium, and we work a little bit on bioplastic. So
I also like kombucha a lot. I think there is a fantastic, like it's a fantastic material that grows like endless, and and you don't. I mean, when I was hearing, I think like Aline and you, you both talk about like a sustainable approach. Like for example, with the spiders, as Aline mentioned, you don't have the spiders like cows in a farm, like producing silk, but you're copying the mechanism and repeating it, or reproducing it with artificial or synthetic molecules, I guess, something like that. In the case of kombucha, I have the feeling that you don't kill totally. You extract a part, which is this, of course, community assemblage between bacteria and fungi. But
yeah, it's what we do. In fact, we work on the design, and I speak about social design and practice. It's because we don't, for us, work with life. It's biomaterial. It's a living material, so it's interesting because it works with it's others. It works with it's make things with things you can really control, but it's not really control. It's a question about the milieu. You know, the environment. You create special environment, and you can create things with that. Yeah, we have create big stuff, like we have create like a dress, not a dress, a kimono with the kombucha. But this kimono, in fact, is like a prospective design about how you can take care of you, because you can use kombucha for like a sponge for absorb some medication and transmit medication between your skin. And like this, you create a special environment with you, because it's better just take a medication, because synthetic molecules are really complicated for to be absorbed by your organism. So if you have this type of textile on you, that live on you, and you can just repair your skin, repair your body, because we have the idea of this stuff is also to based on some study, or some people have used bacterial leather for help people to repair the skin, and to have some because there are some biotic
probiotic.
probiotic. Yeah, it's probiotic aspect, and so your skin or your stomach is the same because bacteria are just across.
That's
And
super interesting.
yeah, it's about the care, because we are in the time where we are in the time of post-Anthropocene. So the question is about how we can produce things for maybe survive or talk with the things, or like you present how we can use mycelium for just move pollution from the earth, because it's a natural quality of mycelium. So there are a lot of different things to do with that, like kombucha. There are guys who have made books on that there a long time ago. With a kombucha paper, you can use this for filter water. So there are a lot of different things to do. Or use waste water for grow laser. We have made some things on that works with the water of La Seine.
That's so incredible. Wow. Oops, sorry. I don't know how to just put everyone on the screen.
I also wanted to ask a question.
Yes, hi Maya.
Hi everybody.
Hello,
Thank you so much for this super interesting presentation. And I think in this chat there's many people who also had experience with biomaterials like mycelium, algae, bacteria, cellulose, all kinds of. And I really like this idea that you come here and you give this super smart and super sleek presentation as well. And as I feel like we all share the same ideology about how those biomaterials are a future material that helps to create sufficiency and like save resources and this circular economy. And I wanted to ask you, like, if you already have started to work with associations that are distributing more of the knowledge into a broader field of the society as well, because I think those ideas, it's like organic food. It's just a small percentage of society which is profiting or like being aware of this, the benefits of it. And then I think the way how it's not only the research about the design of it, but also the sharing of the information, that how far this change is already happening, like similar to solar energy, that in the beginning it was super expensive, now it becomes more affordable, and that techniques also develop and adapt to this, and that the industry could change as well. So, for example, like Corina, which is also in this chat, she's working for Fashion Revolution, which is also super active and as well international, and a network of activists who are trying to change fashion industry as well, because of all these issues about plastic waste and microplastic in the oceans, but also the resources that are used. And could you tell us a bit more about how I really feel like Olin, you're kind of a messenger as well. So
yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of things. I think
I asked Olin.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, I think Maya was asking to Aline if Aline, have you heard the question? You're muted. Sorry, we cannot hear you. And Vivian, you can also answer afterwards. And then there is also yeah, thank you. And then there is also Carlos that wanted to ask another question. Aline, we cannot hear you. You are muted, I think. Oops.
Maybe she back and she come. She move and she back.
Yes. Ah,
Could the headphones be unplugged? Maybe.
yeah,
Or-
maybe unplug the headphones. It's very weird. Okay. Oh. Well, okay. Maybe you can connect and disconnect and reconnect again. It might work because that is very weird if you're unmuted. And maybe yes, if you can maybe connect and reconnect, disconnect and reconnect again, please. That would be awesome. And maybe in the meantime, Vivian, you can say what you wanted to say, and then Carlos can ask the question. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat. Okay. So Aline. Maybe Vivian, you can just answer what you wanted to say before.
I don't remember exactly.
Okay, no problem. In the meantime, while you remember it, maybe Carlos, if you have a question or any other.
Yeah. It's more a commentary. Okay.
Nope.
It was for the two, in fact, because it was really exciting to see all this. It's new for me. And well, but I guess Vivian can also answer this. When I listen biology, I always think in living things, of course. I'm aware that here we are talking about the side product of the living things, but it is possible that there is a way to keep some dynamic features that are actually in biology, like for instance, to create or there is a project that is looking for creating sort of textile that allows like an increase in the thicker to get thicker, maybe if it's winter or not, these kind of things that makes being like to say more comfortable in one season or the other. And if you know any project on this. And the second question is about sometimes when I see kids, I think that there is always like a lot of renewal of the clothes that they use, and I wonder if there is also a project that tries to make textile grow when you grow up, when you are a kid, or not. I don't know if you're on mute, sir.
Your question is directed to Aline?
I think now.
To both of them, but yeah.
Okay. Hi, Aline. We can hear you now.
Again. Yeah, now again. Sorry, I was disconnected. I just
Thank you,
reconnected. I don't know what was the problem, but can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now it works. Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear the question because I had to disconnect and reconnect. If it was from.
Go again, Carlos.
Yeah, maybe it's better if you answer first Maya's question.
All right.
Yeah.
Maya?
So many questions.
Sorry, I think it was a problem with internet. I don't know. It was cutting off. I didn't knew that was. Could you maybe? Do you mind if you repeat the question, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear it. It was really but now it's okay.
Yes, I was really happy to hear about all the diversity of biomaterials that are already existing and how the industry is already applying it. So seeing this the waste forms of how you can use the biomaterial, especially in textile industry. I was wanted to ask if you already tried to bring it more down to the people, because it seems like it's still like solar energy, it's a bit far to reach, and that people, or to bring this idea to people who lower incomes and less access to knowledge, and so working with associations. And
But do you mean designers making working with these materials, or people, or you are addressing more like people having access to the market and to these materials?
yes, I was taking the example of fashion industry,
Yeah.
like how fashion industry is working a lot in the field of communication into a wider sphere of society. And if you also worked with bigger associations to promote biomaterials, or what are strategies? What are strategies to make it more accessible and public discussed? That it can also shift the industry towards a more sustainable production of textile materials.
Yeah, actually, I mean, this is the big part of this, and I think is what you say is really important, because if the industry doesn't support this, then there will be no possibility to bring it onto the market and have accessibility to people, for people. Of course, I'm actually, this is one of the parts that also I mean, I would want to do with the hub. That, I mean, I work with the two biggest conglomerate in fashion, that is Kering and LVMH, and they are actually both supporting a lot and moving towards this industry. For instance, if we say LVMH group created and supported fully a new masters in Central St. Martins that is called the Biodesign, actually. And Kering has huge initiatives that are actually promoting a lot the scaling and production of these materials. And in another side, because at the beginning they were a lot working with what we call sustainability, that is not really very sustainable. And I mean, there is a very big initiative that, as I was saying before, that, for example, already a couple of independent brands are bringing it onto the market. The Kering Group is launching this year a very big initiative, working also with textile mills. One of these textile mills I've also been working for about 10 years for my own brand, and they are finally creating and developing themselves. These kind of materials, especially silk protein and mycelium. In another side as well, I think, I mean, once this starts to come to the market, I think that there will be, I mean, for every technology needs some time, because at the beginning, of course, it's expensive, like everything, like when we had the first plastics on the 70s, it was the super new material, but it was quite expensive. Today is the cheapest alternative, but it's because of the demand of the market. So people have to have also more to be more informed and have more access to education and understand what are these materials and why we need to have this different choice, and so people can also start to buy the products, and more demand from the market, more the brands will produce it, and more unless the cost will also lower a lot. Because actually, as I said before, to produce these materials is much cheaper, is better, is more resource efficient, and is much more easy also if we talk about geographically, because the materials that we have been always working are very geographically located. Like, for example, if we talk about wool, there's certain places where they can actually afford to grow it, certain places where they can do silk, certain places where they can do other materials. And I think biomaterials, we can access it in any country, and the resources are not something that is actually expensive. So it's just, I think it's just a question of time of developing and have more and more knowledge, understanding, and also bring it out onto the market, and people to start, I mean, to consume, etc. Like what we do with the organic food. That's, of course, at the moment, when at the beginning it was really expensive and not everybody could access, but today you can actually have in a much more affordable prices organically made products, or also if you buy locally, etc.
I
So
guess
think
like
it's a yeah.
It's sorry, I thought you were about to finish.
Yeah, that's I don't know if is what I what do you mean?
Sorry. Yeah. So I was very curious to have the feeling that you come from the industry and you're scaling down a little bit, like to make it more local based, related to Switzerland and what it's already como los tejidos, como dices.
The textiles?
Sí, pero el tejido industrial.
Yeah, the
Industrial network.
Industrial network. Thank you, Carlos. So, and I guess like Maya's question is how. I guess this is what you're exploring, right? Because you're presenting today at an association like Hackuarium, and you already contact Hackuarium, which is another association. And so I think like you are exploring this like bringing from the industry to like more local and exploring the way of connecting to different associations and accessing different laboratories like ours, right? I think that's
sorry.
No, I mean I'm just.
I think I completely misunderstood. Sorry.
No problem. I was just maybe trying to help connect all the points, and then Vivian on the other side. I think it's the other way around, right? You're coming from the social sphere, and specifically like next week. Sorry, I just got blocked. Next week, they will present a social, like a sort of making a community through working with biomaterials, or he will explain better. But I think like he is making, or they are making in the team, because there are several people, they are scaling, or not scaling up, but going from the social sphere to the industry, as he showed the materials and the watch made out of vegetal leather and so on. So maybe the question is how you deal from the industry to the social, and to the social to the industry, and how Vivian and Aline, you will answer that, the Maya's question in those realms, like.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. No. I mean, as I said, I mean, I come more from the industry, and I see the need. So at the moment, I really what I'm doing is that I'm trying to create like this network of people where we can really experiment and then have also a connection with the industry, in order not just with the industry but with experimented scientists as well, that they can help us on the research and development process, and then have the connection with the industry in order to be able to scale and if possible, or if we want then to develop a technology. So yeah, for me, I want to create a community of designers where we can experiment and work also together with academia in order to be able to understand better as yeah, I mean, for us designers, biotech is not very easy to understand, and all these I mean, certain aspects of science are really yeah, we have there's certain limits where we can not really understand the whole process. That's why I think it's really good to work together with experimented scientists, and at the moment, yeah, I like to work with as much designers and creatives in order to be able to really experiment and work and connect with industry and promote more also this in general biodesign and biomaterials and all these new sustainable material propositions.
So you're very welcome to join us once the situation and you can make it either to Zurich, to Hackaarium, or to here. At least here, you're very welcome to start experimenting and seeing how the community works and how the community laboratory what can offer to a project like yours. Like, given that we are open source and working with this open culture, and I think we were discussing this the other day. Like there were more than one project that passed by Hackuarium. The people that came to start a very little experiment with either biomaterials or with robotics, open source, and then at some point they applied for a grant, and then they realized they wanted to scale it up and go into the industry, and then everything was open source and done in the community in a very sharing, caring, and open way. And at some point the project got closed, and then they went to another kind of laboratory. And I think, in my opinion, there is this friction which in Barcelona, when I was working in this wet lab, I learned about biofriction. Is not only friction between organisms, but it's also friction about when you're trying to create something new, and you had to try to have access to laboratories. There is this interesting gray area in which different things pop up, and experiments happen, and things fail or are successful, and the learning process and the discussions and the frictions create more knowledge and more protocols and processes to open up. And I think this is something that maybe you're trying to do in this direction, from the industry to the biolab, and then back to the industry. And I wonder how Vivian is gonna answer the question. Sorry.
There are a lot of things. Just for explain maybe something clearly. My mother is a dress maker. She make dress from, I don't know, maybe 40 years. I don't know. So she make this during all his life. So I know a lot on how you use textile and how textile is produced and how we can make things. But yeah, I'm not industrial and I don't work with a big mark. Our position in trade is, we make some open source research. We are not a lab, but we are, for most of us, engineer or people who have this type of background. So me, I have not PhD. I have make some more art things, but I have make a master in a CRI. So there are some biologists there, and I think I have understand some things, and some other people like Philippe or Adrien are engineer in material or engineer in more engineering, but yeah, we work with some company actually. It's not really easy. We work in a European project VORS. It's a project of fabric and how we can make a sustainable fashion. And we have purpose to make some bags with kombucha and second hand bags. So second bag or textile. So, and we try to make something about like a patchwork or tsugi style. Tsugi, it's the art of reparation in Japanese arts. So, you know, the things where they use like a ceramic and make some gods for repair pieces. So our idea is about that, is take care with biomaterial of things and try to think about how we can fix together things with the biomaterial. Not exactly produce like a big company and produce like 1,000 and 1,000 kombucha leather, because I know industry can do that really easily. I think it's not complicated problem for them, and they start to do that in Germany, for example, with I don't remember the name of the company, but one of company in Germany is really in Leipzig, is very, very advanced on this type of kombucha leather. But the problem is we can discuss with this type of people, because I have tried to discuss with them about how we can produce something. And the problem for me about that is not about create a company. The problem is create patents and things like this on life. This is more problematic. It's the same problem with Ecovative or company like this one German, because they create some genetically modified bacteria for have their own product, and you can copy that, and they privatize some possible new way to produce for the future a sustainable material. And this is the big problem, because if you do that, you do something like you appropriate to you the possibility to solve some problem of commons. And the commons start to be just a question of private and possibility to pay for solve the problem. So this is big problem, I think, about how you use biomaterial and how we use this type of technology for create something for human. But okay, not only us, but I think there are a lot of questions around that. And actually, a lot of big marks are really interested to use this type of material for make the new trendy production. But the really question for me is, okay, we start to make a really big company, we produce in mass, but what happened? We have the same troubles and we produce, I don't know, cotton or jean or whatever in a big mass, because when you have a mass, you change your scale, and with the scale you start to have some problem of pollution. But okay, how we can solve this? For us in trade, we try to think, we don't know, we try to see if it's possible to build a community of distributed fabrication about biomaterial and maybe produce locally this type of production. And maybe it's better, I don't know, we try, and we see what happens. Because like this, everybody can start to produce and we can distribute the production like we have made from 3D prints or from makers or Fab Lab communities. But yeah, I know from this community is what I know the most. But I think we can try something like this and see what happens.
Thank you, Vivian. Maybe Carlos, you had a question before about the stretchable.
Yeah, I can repeat it in a better way this time. Okay, so it was just a general comment about the properties that can be used, because as far as I see here, I mean, we are trying to change the textile to something based in biology. But what I wonder is if we can provide a new feature to those new clothes, like for instance, adaptability to different weathers, or for instance, flexibility, in the sense that you grow up and your mother buy you a t-shirt, and then that t-shirt grows with you. And I wonder if there is or there are any projects that are looking for this kind of questions. Yeah, I'm not in this field, so that's why.
Thank you. Anyone wants to answer that? I have no clue.
It's like you say before, sorry, but for me, it's like a comment. I don't understand where it's a question. It's okay, we can do that. Okay, we do. And we speak about that, but it's like just perspective. Okay, but it's not really a question, no? So
No,
maybe I don't understand.
if you know any project that is going into this direction, or if you know any other group.
Actually, no. I know there are some South America group, like in Mexico, who try to do some really equivalent things, because I know there are really a lot of people there who try to produce some biomaterial too. But with the little communities, but it looks like that exists already in Amsterdam or in north of Europe. It's more about product places with a little business model about you have a communities and you lend to people to produce things or grow things or share things because they are in your communities. So it's a type of business model. But yeah, we try us to make more. I think it's really distributed fabrication. I think it's the idea is this one. But yeah, normally company don't do that because it's a lot of problematic question to have equivalent material in other place. And don't have the capacity to have the whole logistic around that and control on the property of what is this material. So who sell, who keeps the money?
Thank you. I don't know if there is any other question. There is one person here. I don't know if she's connected still, Coco. And she's, as Maya said, a super interesting person because she works with this Fashion Revolution Association, and she makes workshops, atelier with different big companies like CNA and so on. She can explain better maybe if she wants to jump ahead. Otherwise, just to tell you, taking the thread of the question before, like how to navigate those landscapes of the industry, big industry, textile, and then associations, and how they can collaborate together. Hey, Coco, how are you? Corina.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, I'm following, really interested in what Aline's saying and telling and explaining. It's really, really cool. And it would be really, really good to get in touch more with, through Fashion Revolution with you and promote your hub. Yeah, totally. Really.
That's awesome. Corina, thank you. Maybe you can...
I think you're coming tomorrow to the Hackuarium lab.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I just
now
almost sorry. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Actually, yeah, that will be great to connect. I just came back from Zurich a couple of hours ago.
Oh.
I'm at the moment I'm on the mountains. I will love to come. I mean, I can come down anytime. I'm working a lot now at the moment on because I want to actually submit for the it's called the the innovation booster for the NTA innovation booster for InnoSpace. And I'm working with some people at the ETH to make this application. So I'm coming up and down, but will be great to connect. And I wanted to talk also with you, Vanessa, and about how we could actually work it out together. But yeah, we can discuss also other time. But I would love to come and see the to have a chat and come in person, because this sometimes is I think it's much more fruitful when you speak person to person. Still it's quite, I mean, it's a good option to have this Zoom meeting alternative because of the times. But I will definitely, maybe we should email and fix some time to come and meet.
I just heard that Maya just said that you might be there tomorrow, but it doesn't. We can read some. Yeah.
No.
It was not. Maybe this was an old information.
But maybe others that and Mark was telling about this Zoom talk today. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. People.
We're mixing it up.
People are start leaving the conversation, so maybe we could wrap it up a little bit. Maybe could you, Karina, just introduce us very briefly what Fashion Revolution is, and then we can explain what we will be doing the next week, and we can then close it off.
Yeah. Fashion Revolution is a global association or a global movement. It's a grassroots thing, and we're working really hard on making the fashion industry for good, to with all the aspects of climate and producing more ecological, and also taking care of human rights. And we are like addressing the consumers, like we are really the link to the consumers. Making people aware of showing alternatives. It's more sustainable alternatives, but also more sufficient alternatives like reusing, thrifting, sharing, and buying sustainable, buying good quality, and buy less, especially. And we are also always trying to influence the policymakers and to also build bridges to the industry. So this is like our scale. And we are also in Switzerland. We're working on spreading the fashion revolution ideas. Like it's a very positive approach, so we really don't want to blackmail anybody with just pointing out the good stuff. And we're like spreading it all over Switzerland with having city chapters in lots of cities by now. And we're also part of the think tank for sustainable textiles, where lots of, or maybe even all of the sustainable approaching brands and industry companies are coming together to find better solutions. So
That's
also organizing this partly with us, with Swiss Fair Trade and ECOS. We're organizing that think tank, Sustainable Textile Switzerland. This wording is always a bit, yeah, I don't know English.
no problem. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you very much. It's awesome. I really like what you're doing, especially. I mean, I'm not into fashion. I mean, everyone is into fashion because fashion is what we wear and what we buy and everything. And that's why I really like the fact that you make these actions together with the big companies. And I don't know what Rachel is saying. Are you? Okay, Rachel is leaving. And yeah, I think this way of trying to send a message to the customers directly with the customers, if I understood you well, because I follow your events through the social network. I think that's the biofriction, what I was telling before, the way of working with big industries or big tech and really planting a seed or doing making the change from within and with the people. And this is what I love about what you're doing.
Yes, well, I mean, you can't really expect the consumer to be so impactful, like, but it's very important to have to raise the awareness, so they demand for better production. And we're always encouraging the consumers to really ask who made my clothes. This is our hashtag, like who made my clothes, and to use it widely on social media. And through using it, the impact gets much higher. So it's never the majority of people who will use it, but you get so much more attention. And this is why it's so important to speak out as a consumer. Yeah, and ask for
Totally.
transparency. Actually, that's all about transparency.
I was thinking like maybe this is an idea also for Aline. I'm pretty sure that she already thought about similar stuff. But I was in my mind thinking about this wonderful jacket made out of spider silk, which I probably couldn't afford in my life. I don't know, but it seemed pretty expensive. But I mean, North Face and technical stuff is totally out of reach for some people. And I mean, we are in Switzerland, and of course, I mean, this is a little bit seems a little bit stupid to say it from this position of privilege, but I mean, it would be awesome to see a workshop to spread this knowledge to maybe a certain point. Of course, not to a super mega developed point because you need machines or whatever, but together with the consumer in a way that there is also a sort of a mind changing process in the way of touching the material and so on. In Shenzhen, I was really seeing this silk, spider silk, in neon colors, neon yellow, violet, blue, green, orange. It was amazing. They were in tubes, crystal tubes, and I was talking to the guy like randomly in a bar, and he was like telling me like, yeah, I have these tubes and blah blah. And actually, when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is the future. No, like, and he was like, yeah, I mean, if you have access to a laboratory and you do some genetic modifications, and this is color and this is blah, and I was totally amazed. And we made some light some like bioluminescent bacteria. I mean, Rachel can she left, but I think she made this picture. And you know, like this can be done here and also in Hackuarium, I guess. This little genetic modifications, so you can make things glow. And of course there is exploitation of nature, of course, but if there is all this mental process of thinking about what Aline said before, or Vivian, and also Corina and Maya, about thinking about the people who make it, who are you making it with, what is the exploitation, what is the circular economy, what are you giving back, and what are you really solving a problem, or you're maybe just substituting, making a substitution of cornfields of GMO with fields of bacteria producing whatever bioluminescent. And there is, in my opinion, I know it's not my role to do that, but maybe that's also an interesting question of finding the interesting point that's really solving a problem. But fashion is so transactional. It's very, very complex. So
I think if I can just say quickly something. I mean the when we said about like exploiting these resources, I think is I mean we use natural materials, but the problem is not actually that is a natural material. The problem is that the processes that we use to exploit, like for example cotton, like I mentioned before, silk, etc. And I mean, in general, we is preview for 2030 to have 10 billion of people that needs to be dressed, and this actually represents a need of about 300 millions of tons of non-renewable inputs. So when it's non-renewable, we exhaust everything. But if we actually use materials like algae, that's what I was saying before. If when we said that at the end it's like if we scale it and we start to use it more and more, there's like a mass production. But yeah, actually it's better to we don't really mass produce mushrooms or algae, because algae actually cleans the water and mushroom cleans the soil, and not the opposite, that destroys it. So it's actually we need to find a way to cover up these inputs, but with renewables instead of non-renewables, because if we think in 10 years we just don't have actually the resources to cover up all these non-renewable inputs. So I think in any way that we use it, I know that at the moment it's very expensive, because it's a new technology. It just needs to be accepted, adapted, and commercialized at scale. But the good thing is that it's actually a renewable input, so it doesn't damage our life cycle. And we are not, if we mass produce cotton, we're gonna exhaust our water sources and our landfills, so we cannot even plant food anymore, because the landfills are full of pollution, not just of plantations, but also of waste and the water of microplastics, etc. So we actually just have to stop creating non-renewable inputs. So I know that it's quite difficult to understand this, because it's like you said, and I totally agree with you. To not everybody can afford to buy a jacket that is made out of spider silk today, of course, but it's already an initiative, and slowly also I think it's like a chain, or like a domino effect. More we contribute, more we kind of like also use local resources, experiment, and this I think is quite a slow process, but we are on the right path at the end. I think
Totally.
it's maybe a way of seeing it, because I totally agree. It's like it's very easy to say like, oh yeah, don't. Not everybody can afford that, and I mean myself also. I cannot afford to buy luxury clothes. I mean, or at the beginning, products can be quite expensive, but also the same happened with the food industry, and I think it's just a slow process, and everybody can contribute in with their little grain, and slowly at least trying to promote to work with renewable inputs and resources.
I think so. I think so too. That this is
sorry.
what we were talking about the license before.
Yes, Maya. Sorry, I just wanted to Just wanted to make clear that I was not criticizing the fact that it's out of reach for some pockets to buy it. I was like, my point was more about opening the technology through different public workshops in which maybe we can learn how to make this technology at a certain point and open up the knowledge. Because I guess when you the problem of patenting, as Vivian was saying before, it's closing a knowledge. And I believe that when you patent something like at this stage of perfection, entre guillemets, no? I understand that it's very specific to a certain machine, certain temperature, certain conditions, certain molecule, and but there is steps before that maybe the technology can be opened, the protocols can be open to the public. So both models of business those both models can coexist. Like I can develop one technology till the maximum point of luxury, or not luxury in the sense of perfection of fabric, and there is another at a certain point I lower a little bit the standards, and I can open the technology up, so different communities, different people working with biomaterials, students can benefit from this knowledge, so they can open up different venues in this direction, but different venues. That was more my point, rather than no, it's not as bad because we cannot afford it. I think this is gonna happen with everything. The intentions are good, but then there is this. I think this is where open source can be helpful, because you can make it decentralize different groups of people working simultaneously in and sharing different knowledge, and then when you want to just push the other technology, the spin-off technology or whatever, to the maximum of other kind of luxurious in the sense of perfection fabric point. Again, of course, the world, it works like this, and maybe there is a need to close it as a way of patenting or whatever. This is out of my practice, but I think like there is these two ways of scaling knowledge, so we can open it up and more people can work together to bring more solutions or more different protocols for biomaterial. Sorry, Maya.
Yes, I also think like this between the world of open source and the commercial world, there's always this problem about how knowledge is shared and then closed again, and also I think there are many ways to approach this topic, and as we said before, like it's a new technology working with biomaterials, and similar to solar energy, it still needs a lot of communication and distribution and development of technology, and it's like the slogan I always say, that you have to be all channels open. There's so many way of distributions and so many models of production as well, if it's industrial, if it's bottom up, if it's citizen science, and I think just in this time of crisis that we are in, like this, the climate crisis I'm talking about, it's really important to accelerate the things as well, to move things forward, and although that's the beauty about open source, if people keep it open source, there's always the accessibility to it. And if industrials are inspired by it, then it might also increase greater audience that will then come to be convinced that we have to go into renewable and sufficient resources as well. And I think one way to do is like there's this dichotomy between like startups, open source, hubs, community spaces. But then there's also the educational way and the arts as well, which is also a way of you call it soft power, right? So like the project I've been involved in with Taiwan was also working on biomaterials, not only, but the topic was e-textile, and there were many people who were working with biomaterials, also kombucha, and at the end of this online residencies where like 12 artists, international artists also contributed, artist and designer. At the end, kombucha somehow was the end product, which then is to be turned into an art piece, which is shown at this National Craft Institute and Development Research Center, which is an educational center, right? So it's somehow bringing the knowledge of kombucha into a region, or not a region, but an institute that so far hasn't been working with kombucha. And with academic institutions, and I mean, there's also this how you said the friction. There's always
friction.
frictions. Yeah, friction. There's so many frictions everywhere. So in the institutions as well, of course, too. But at least like they have the ability to teach as well, the younger generations, which I think is so important that we bring this knowledge, especially to the younger generation, and make them see that, hey, there's alternatives and there's development going on and there's research. And so again, like all channels open, right? So yeah, like humans.
Yeah, it's totally compatible, and I'm really looking forward when we can put this all in action and see, maybe have some real hands-on experiment. And also, Aline, again, welcome whenever you want to start. Oh, you changed location. Yeah.
Oh no, no more sound.
Yeah, no more sound.
No more sound.
Anyways, I think we have to wrap it up. People are going to sleep.
Actually, I haven't eaten all day. So.
Yeah, okay.
And I have people wait. My husband waiting for me. I didn't eat. I'm sorry.
No problem. We are all hungry, and I think we did a good job. Thank you very much, Aline. Thank you very much, Vivian, for calling in, and Maya, and Coco, and Javier. You still there, like a warrior. And yeah, so maybe see you next week with Vivian and Adrien, and take care and see you next time.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thanks to everybody. Have a nice evening.
You too.
You.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Or?
See you soon. Let's keep in touch.
Yeah, let's talk discuss further.
Nice to meet you again. Also,
nice to meet you. Thank you. Take care.
Yes, Javier. Ciao, Javier. Thank you.